My name is Cooper, and I spent 12 years serving my country with honor. I never thought that honor would be used against me. Cooper, you're under investigation for theft of classified documents, General Victoria Brennan announced during what I thought was a routine briefing. I felt my stomach drop. What? General, I would never. The evidence is clear, she interrupted, her voice cold. You accessed secure files without authorization, multiple times. Colonel James Mitchell, my direct supervisor, looked shocked. General Brennan, Cooper has an exemplary record. Are you certain? I don't make accusations lightly, Colonel, she snapped. The digital footprint leads directly to his credentials. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. General, I need to see this evidence. This has to be a mistake. You'll see it when the investigators present it, she said dismissively. You're suspended effective immediately. Security will escort you out. 2 MPs appeared at the door. This is insane, I said, my voice shaking. I've dedicated my life to this military. Then you should have thought about that before betraying it, General Brennan replied. As they walked me out, Colonel Mitchell pulled me aside. Cooper, I don't believe this for a second, he whispered. Something doesn't add up. Thank you, sir, I managed. I swear I didn't do this. I know you didn't, he said firmly. Watch your back. Over the next week, I learned the full scope of the accusations. General Brennan claimed I'd stolen files related to defense contracts worth millions. She had timestamps, access logs, everything pointing to my credentials. My best friend Tyler called me that weekend. Coop, everyone's talking about it. What the hell happened? I'm being framed, Ty, I told him. I just don't know why. Who would do this to you? He asked. I have one guess, I said. General Brennan has wanted me gone since I questioned that contractor deal last month. Tyler was quiet for a moment. The one where you noticed the inflated costs? Exactly, I confirmed. I sent her a memo about irregularities in the billing. She told me to drop it. You think she's involved? Tyler asked. I think she's more than involved, I said. I think she's orchestrating this whole thing. That's when it clicked. The contractor payments I'd questioned were processed through the same system where the stolen files originated. General Brennan had access to everything. She could manipulate logs, use my credentials, create a perfect scapegoat. Tyler, I need your help, I said. And I need a lawyer. Whatever you need, man, he replied immediately. I've got your back. The next morning, I met with attorney Sarah Williams, a former JAG officer who specialized in military cases. Cooper, walk me through everything, she said, opening her notepad. I spent 2 hours detailing the accusations, my questioning of the contract, and my suspicions about General Brennan. Sarah leaned back in her chair. If she's framing you to cover embezzlement, we need ironclad proof. How do we get it? I asked. We start digging, she said with a determined smile. And we don't stop until we find the truth. Sarah connected me with Detective Ryan Torres, a military investigator known for handling complex fraud cases. Cooper, your attorney explained the situation, Detective Torres said during our first meeting. I've reviewed the initial evidence against you, and honestly, it's too perfect. Too perfect? I asked. When someone's actually guilty, there are usually mistakes, hesitations in the digital trail, he explained. This looks choreographed. Sarah nodded. That's what I thought too. Someone with high-level access created this narrative. General Brennan has the highest security clearance in our division, I pointed out. She could access anything. Detective Torres pulled out his laptop. Let's look at the contractor payments you mentioned. What company was it? Summit Defense Solutions, I recalled. They were billing triple the market rate for standard equipment. He typed rapidly. Summit Defense Solutions. Registered 6 months ago. Single owner. He paused, his eyes widening. What is it? Sarah asked. The owner is listed as V. Brennan Consulting, LLC, he said slowly. My heart raced. She owns the contractor company? Through a shell corporation, yes, Detective Torres confirmed. She's been billing the military millions through her own company. Sarah was already taking notes. That's embezzlement, fraud, and abuse of authority. And I'm the one who noticed the inflated costs, I said, feeling anger build. She needed me gone before anyone investigated further. We need to prove she forged the access logs using your credentials, Detective Torres said. Over the next month, we built our case methodically. Detective Torres subpoenaed server records that showed access patterns inconsistent with my location and schedule. Cooper, look at this, he said during one of our meetings. On March 15th, you accessed classified files at 2 a.m. from the Pentagon server room. I was home in bed, I said. Tyler was staying with me that week. He can confirm it. Even better, your home security system logged you entering your house at 11 p.m. and not leaving until 7 a.m., he added. Sarah smiled. That's an alibi with digital proof. Keep going. We found more discrepancies. Every alleged breach occurred when I was verifiably elsewhere, yet General Brennan's own access logs showed she was in the server room during those exact times. Colonel Mitchell agreed to testify about my character and the suspicious timing of the accusations. Cooper questioned the contracts, and within 48 hours, he's accused of treason, he said during a recorded statement. That's not coincidence. Tyler provided financial records showing General Brennan's sudden wealth, a new house, luxury car, and exotic vacations all purchased after Summit Defense Solutions started receiving contracts. She's not even trying to hide it, Tyler observed. She thought framing you would end any investigation. Sarah compiled everything into a comprehensive brief. We have motive, means, opportunity, and evidence of her actual crimes, plus proof she falsified the logs against you. When do we present this? I asked. There's a tribunal hearing scheduled for next week, she said. General Brennan will be there to testify against you. I felt a grim satisfaction. Perfect. Let's make sure everyone hears the truth. The night before the hearing, I couldn't sleep. Tyler called to check on me. You ready for tomorrow, Coop? I'm ready to clear my name, I said, and to watch her face when the evidence comes out. She underestimated you, he said. Big mistake. She underestimated the truth, I corrected. That's what's going to destroy her. The tribunal room was packed with military brass and legal officials. General Brennan sat at the prosecution table, looking confident and composed. She didn't know what was coming. The tribunal will come to order, the presiding judge, General Robert Hayes, announced. We're here regarding accusations against Captain Cooper. General Brennan stood. Your Honor, the evidence clearly shows Captain Cooper accessed classified files without authorization and attempted to sell them. That's a lie, I said firmly. Order, General Hayes warned. General Brennan, present your evidence. She displayed access logs showing my credentials used to open secure files. As you can see, Captain Cooper's login was used repeatedly to access information he had no clearance for. Now, General Brennan, I have a question, Sarah interrupted, standing. Can you confirm these logs are from the central server room at the Pentagon? Yes, Brennan replied confidently. And can you confirm that this room requires biometric verification, fingerprints and retinal scans, in addition to login credentials? Sarah continued. Brennan hesitated. Yes, but... Then perhaps you can explain why the biometric data from these dates doesn't match Captain Cooper's, Sarah said, presenting a document. But it does match yours. The room erupted in whispers. General Brennan's face went pale. Those records must be incorrect. Are you suggesting military-grade biometric security is faulty? Sarah pressed. Or are you suggesting someone else used Captain Cooper's stolen credentials to access these files? Detective Torres stood. Your Honor, if I may, we've conducted a thorough investigation into these accusations. Proceed, Detective, General Hayes said, leaning forward with interest.
Captain Cooper has verifiable alibis for every single alleged breach, Torres explained. Home security footage, witness statements, and even restaurant receipts placing him miles away from the Pentagon during each incident.
This is ridiculous, General Brennan interjected. He could have falsified. What he couldn't falsify, Torres interrupted, is your presence in that server room during every single breach. Or your ownership of Summit Defense Solutions, the contractor billing the military at 3 times market rate. The whispers became a roar. General Hayes slammed his gavel. Order! General Brennan, is this true? That's a separate business matter, she stammered. A business matter where you approve contracts for your own company? Sarah demanded. That's embezzlement and fraud. Colonel Mitchell stood from the gallery. Your Honor, I can confirm that Captain Cooper brought concerns about Summit Defense Solutions directly to General Brennan 6 weeks ago. Within 48 hours, these accusations appeared. She framed me to stop an investigation into her own crimes, I said, my voice steady. She used her position to destroy my career and reputation. General Brennan looked around wildly. This is a conspiracy. You're all trying to protect a traitor. The only traitor in this room, General Hayes said coldly, appears to be you, General. MPs, take General Brennan into custody. You can't do this, she shouted as officers approached. I'm a general. I demand... You demand nothing, General Hayes interrupted. You're under arrest for fraud, embezzlement, falsifying official documents, and making false accusations against a decorated officer. The MPs handcuffed her. As they led her past me, she hissed, This isn't over. Yes, it is, I replied calmly. The court-martial trial happened 3 months later. I sat in the gallery, watching as General Brennan stood before military judge Patricia Anderson. General Victoria Brennan, you've been found guilty on all counts, Judge Anderson began. Embezzlement of military funds, fraud, conspiracy, and falsely accusing a fellow officer. Do you have anything to say before sentencing? Brennan's lawyer whispered something to her, but she shook her head. Your Honor, I made mistakes, she said, her voice cracking. But I served this country for 20 years. Doesn't that count for something? It makes your betrayal even worse, Judge Anderson replied sharply. You used your position and the trust placed in you to steal from taxpayers and destroy an innocent man's career. Sarah leaned over to me. She's trying to get sympathy, she whispered. It won't work, I whispered back. The prosecutor, Major David Campbell, stood. Your Honor, General Brennan embezzled over $4 million through fraudulent contracts. She then framed Captain Cooper, a decorated veteran, to cover her crimes. The evidence is overwhelming, Judge Anderson agreed. Captain Cooper, would you like to make a statement? I stood, my heart pounding. Your Honor, General Brennan didn't just steal money. She tried to steal my honor, my reputation, everything I worked 12 years to build. She called you a traitor in front of your peers, Judge Anderson noted. She did, I confirmed. And every day since, I've had to prove my innocence to people who believed her lies. Brennan turned to me. Cooper, I'm sorry, she said desperately. I was wrong. I was scared and made terrible decisions. Please, tell them you forgive me. Forgive you? I said, my voice hard. You tried to destroy my life to protect your greed. I said I'm sorry, she shouted. And I'm saying no, I replied firmly. You don't get forgiveness, you get consequences. Judge Anderson nodded approvingly. Well said, Captain. General Brennan, I hereby sentence you to 15 years in military prison, dishonorable discharge, and full restitution of all embezzled funds. The gavel struck. Brennan collapsed into her chair, sobbing. 15 years? Please, Your Honor, I have a family. You should have thought about them before committing crimes, Judge Anderson said without sympathy. You betrayed your oath, your country, and your fellow soldiers. The MPs escorted her out, still crying. Colonel Mitchell approached me afterward. Cooper, I'm sorry you went through this, he said, shaking my hand, but I'm proud of how you handled it. Thank you, sir, I replied. I just wanted the truth to come out. It did, he confirmed, and for what it's worth, you're being reinstated with full honors, back pay, restored rank, everything. Sarah grinned. See, I told you we'd win. Tyler clapped me on the shoulder. Man, watching her face when they read the verdict? Priceless. She thought her rank would protect her, I said. Nobody's above the law, Detective Torres added, joining our group. Not even generals. A reporter from Military Times approached.
Captain Cooper, can I get a statement about your victory?
Justice isn't victory, I said carefully. It's just things being made right. How does it feel to have your name cleared? She asked. It feels like I can breathe again, I admitted. Like I got my life back. As we left the courthouse, the sun was setting. Tyler walked beside me. What's next for you, Coop? I'm going back to work, I said. Back to serving honorably, the way I always did. Think you'll ever trust authority the same way? He asked. I considered that. I'll trust people who earn it. Rank doesn't make someone trustworthy. Character does. Sarah handed me a folder. This is your complete exoneration paperwork. Frame it if you want. I think I will, I said with a smile. Justice isn't about revenge. It's about truth. General Brennan thought she could use her power to silence anyone who threatened her schemes. She thought wrong. Sometimes the system works exactly as it should, protecting the innocent and punishing the guilty. Have you ever been falsely accused by someone in authority? What would you do if your reputation was on the line? Like and subscribe for more stories about people who refused to be victims and fought back the right way.